All right. Hey guys, welcome back to Sun Crypto. It is May 17th, 2022, 5:18 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? So in today's content, we'll talk about BTC in terms of lines, right? We haven't talked about BTC on the macro level, right? In terms of like wedges and lines and all that good stuff. So in today's content, that's what we're going to focus on, right? For the first part of the video, right? And after that, we can talk about BTC on the 3D, take a look at Ethereum, and at the same time, we will take a look at what? We will take a look at XRPBTC and XRPUSD on the macro view, okay, and all that good stuff. So if the sound is good, just give me a 589, right? If you guys can hear. If not, just give me a 43 cents. It's okay. I take a 43 cents too, right? Pablo S Crypto is asking if BTC could pull back up to the daily 21. That's possible, but we will take a look at it once we start talking about BTC on a 3D basis, okay? So make sure to remind me later on because I might forget, okay? All right, so we got the likes. That's great, okay? Mr. Shu in the house, quiet cook, cooking some ADA in the kitchen. Thanks a lot for tuning in. And Pablo S Crypto and everyone else, right? So in today's content, we'll talk about BTC in terms of trend lines, okay? I know most people are not paying attention to the macro trend lines, right? What I mean about the macro trend line, we don't have to go back like to 2014 and all that good stuff, okay? We can just start the trend line, right? Like back in 2017. So 5 years, it is a long, it is long enough, right? To rely on, okay? So our trend line started back in July 2017. Most of you guys don't remember what happened back then, right there, okay? So 2017 right here, you can see what happened back in 2018. The same trend line supported the price. The March crash right there, the same trend line supported the price. Could we rely on the on this trend line, right, over the next like a few weeks or even month? Okay, we don't know when we're going to retest it. Could we retest it like this summer, right, or even like next fall, right? Let's say sometime in basically November, okay, or even December. That's possible. Or could we retest it like in summer 2023? We don't know, okay? But all we know is like the trend line right here, okay, on the macro level, right? It will be a crucial price level to keep an eye on. As of now, if we dump straight down to it, you would be looking for like a 13k 14k depending on volatility, okay? If we move sideways over the next like let's say few weeks or even month, it could be somewhere around like let's say 17 18 whatever, okay, whatever k you want to add to it, okay? So it could be anywhere between like let's say 17 to 20k depending on volatility and all that good stuff, right? So if we take a look at the resistance trend line, our previous bull market right there, our previous bull market stop, right, 2017 was right around like a 20k area, right? And if we connect the these two basically high, you can see like the same trend line is nearly parallel, okay? A beautiful parallel line, okay? So we could just rely on this trend line, right, and say if BTC drops down to these areas, right, we could expect like a macro reaccumulation, okay? But the problem with the big trend line being retested as of now is like, if we take a look at the green line you got right here, that's your weekly 200 SMA, okay? And most of you guys know what's going on with the weekly 200 SMA, right? It is what? A macro support, okay? Over the last let's say 7 years, 8 years, right? We've been basically we've been finding support at the weekly 200 SMA. Let's take a look at it right here, right? So that same trend line, right? That's the same move you're seeing right here, okay? Back in 2014, 2015, you got the move right here, 2018, 2020, right? So if we go back to BTC, right? Let's take a look at it right here. Okay, so if we go back to you know, our current setup, right, you can see like the trend line, it is way, I mean the moving average, right, the 200 SMA or the, you know, monthly 50 SMA, whichever you're comfortable with, right, it is way above the trend line support. Okay, it is way above the trend line support. So if we retest it right now, it means like if we retest the trend line support, it only, you know, it only means like probably, okay, you know, it is going to be a wick. Okay, we could just say, hey, we dipping below our 200 SMA, so that's not a good sign, but it could be a wick. We just retesting the trend line support. However, if, okay, we just retest the if we just retest the trend line right here, we could still, okay, be moving to the upside. Let's do this. Okay, we could retest the trend line right there, right, and still be moving to the upside and keep hugging the trend line support until probably like 2024. We don't know. Okay, but all I'm trying to say is like it is going to be quite critical, right, to break below the trend line, break below the moving average and retest the trend line. Either we're going to stay and hug the you know, 200 week SMA, right, for the next like a 12 to 18 months, whatever, or even like a 2 years, and retest the trend line in 2023, 2024, whatever, right, and basically start the bull market. So it is also a possibility you might want to keep an eye on, just in case we get a longer, you know, longer sideways correction. I don't think it will be playing out like that, but it is better to be ready, right, than to be sorry and expecting like, you know, a quick rebound, and we won't get that rebound. Okay, so another way of looking at it is also, how about if we basically create a wedge pattern, something like that. Okay, we could create a wedge pattern. We talk about the wedges, right, in my premium group. We could hit the you know, the 200 SMA on the weekly, bounce back up, and still retest the trend line at some point down the road, like let's say in, you know, in 2023, the first quarter of 2023. And that could just be a week, because I would assume, okay, not even assuming, but I would confirm like, hey, this guy, our moving average could still be above our price, and it could still be like, let's say we stay there like for a couple of weeks and basically, you know, just bounce back up and stuff like that. Okay, that's possible. Okay, that's possible. So basically all I'm trying to say is like, hey guys, the price action is, you know, is bearish, right? We're getting closer to our macro support, the you know, weekly 200 SMA, monthly 50 SMA, and all that good stuff. But could we retest the lower trend line later on, even if we get a support? Okay, so something to keep in mind. You know, I'm looking for the low 20Ks as support, but even if we push back up, okay, could we still retest it at some point in 2023? Okay, just like what happened back in you know, 2018, where we retested the trend line, pump like 4x, right, whatever, right, and still dump back down to retest the same trend line again. That's possible. Okay, that's possible. So you know, I'm very open-minded in all scenarios, right? Whatever, you know, whatever we get, I will basically just deal with it. But as of now, the best thing to do is just be open-minded for a possible retest of the trend line over the next like a few months. Okay, my bias is like, I don't think we will retest the trend lines this quarter. Okay, you know, even though the you know, the trend is extremely bearish, but I don't think like BTC will go all the way down to 14K, 12K, and all that good stuff in Q2, you know, 2022 and all that good stuff. Okay, it could be later down the road, but I don't think we will get there in you know, in Q2. If we do, I will be ready for, but that's not one of my, you know, main you know, main strategy as of now. But I will basically look for something to basically take advantage of it if we do retest it in Q2. Okay, so now let me take a look at the chat rooms to see if you guys have any question before we move on to the BTC on a 3D basis. So before we go ahead and take a look at BTC on a 3D basis, we can take a look at BTC on a 7 days basis. Okay, in term of indicators, right? If we take a look at our indicators, we're not getting any indication of a possible macro reversal. I'm not talking about like BTC even 10% move. I'm not even talking about like BTC moving up 10%. Okay, I'm talking about like BTC completely reversing, going back up above like a 52K and all that good stuff. Okay, something like that. Okay, something like that, breaking above like a 52K. That's what I'm calling a possible reversal. But you know, it seems like we don't have any sort of like a high probability, right, of a reversal as of now. Okay, so it means like bulls got to be very patient and wait for these indicators. If you take a look at your MACD, as I told you, you probably, you know, did not see it on the weekly, but I talk about it on the 10 days. Okay, and I said, you know, you can see what we got right here. It is a very negative momentum, right? That was like on the first, okay, something like that, the first, whatever, the first week of April. Okay, actually the first week of May, right there. Okay, right here. Okay, before the dump to the downside, I was saying, hey, we're about to open a new 3 weeks candle, the 21D candle, right? Going to open on the 7th, May 7th. So you would be expecting between May 7th to May 9th the candle to be breaking out to the downside, and the 10D candle is already bearish. Okay, so that's why we dump right here. Okay, so the 10D, at the same time, if you take a look at it on the 10D, you can see like we've been getting a very strong resistance. Okay, that was our resistance back in March, April 2021 when we capitulated all the way down to like a 30K. You take a look at it right here, the same trend line. Okay, back in you know, October, November was acting as a strong resistance. Take a look at it right here, March 22nd, 21st. Most of you guys remember back in late March, I was bullish on BTC and Alt, and we basically had some nice run like on you know, on NIA, okay, Balancer, ICP, you know, Filecoin, you name it. Okay, most of those coin pump like 50 to 80%. That's when we long NIA from like you know, $10 nearly up to like we were looking for $14 to $15, and sucker pump to $20. Okay, and after it dropped back down to like a $14, we shorted it all the way down to like a, you know, again $10. It pumped back up to a $12. We shorted it again down to like a $5 and all that good stuff. Okay, so March pump, right, got rejected right here again at the same trend line. So what does it mean? It means like, hey, you know, we could get a temporary pump, but it means like we have to break above this trend line. And even if we break above it, it probably going to retest it. Okay, and that could potentially create the move we could be looking for right here. Okay, up to basically 30K if we retest the weekly you know, weekly 200 SMA, if you want to take a look at it on a weekly basis. Okay, if you want to take a look at it on the monthly, it is going to be your monthly 50 SMA. Okay, so they're pretty close to one another, within like, you know, 1%, something like that. Okay, so all our indicators, just to cut it short, all these indicators are pointing down, right? So it is not a good sign. I'm not saying like to be a doom boy and be looking for like a 10K BTC and all that good stuff too soon, because, you know, it is not time to be looking for 10K. Could we drop down to 10K? Anything is possible, but realistically, okay, it is not you know, it is not something like, you know, I'm gonna be spending time to analyze BTC in terms of like a retest of 10K. Okay, the most probable support right now, it is what, the weekly 200 MA. Okay, and after that, the macro support trend line right here, the parallel channel. Okay, and down the road, you know, we're still going to be looking for our what, our basically, you know, we don't know when we're going to get the bottom right here, but let's just assume right here. Okay, we're going to be looking for this move to the upside. Okay, we're going to be looking for this move to the upside all the way up to like, you know, 180 and all that good stuff. Okay, so something to basically keep in mind, right? Bogus, thanks a lot for tuning in, man. Biz2, thanks a lot for tuning in. Strengths gains in the house, buying XRP at 10 cents, waiting for 589. Thanks a lot for tuning in, man. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC on a 3D basis. All right. Okay, so that's a 3D time frame. So, you know, our main indicator on the 3D, it is one thing. It is not our RSI. It is not you know, our 100 EMA. It is not our 50 EMA. It is not even our 21 EMA. It is what? Our MACD. That's the main indicator we look for reversal on the higher time frame. I'm not talking about like reversal like you know, 2 to 3% or even 10% reversal. We're looking for like, let's say 20, 30, 40, 50% reversal to the upside. Okay, we got to pay attention to what? Our MACD right here. Okay, what is it doing right now? The MACD is negative. So whenever our MACD on our 3D is negative, right, we tend to look for what? We tend to look for lower prices. It is pretty simple. We said it back in November. If you guys recall right here, after BTC broke below the 21 EMA and MACD was negative right here, what I was telling you guys, if we open and close a candle below the 3D 21, we just have to pack our bags. Okay, we just have to pack our bags and wait, right, for the monthly 21 to reaccumulate. And if we break below the monthly 21, we will be looking for what? The monthly 50 EMA. All those, you know, targets, right, got hit beautifully. Okay, so just to basically show you what I'm talking about, right? After we broke below the monthly, after we broke below the 3D 21, we said, okay, we're going to dump down to our monthly 21, and we could move sideways for the next like a few weeks or few months. We're going to get a nice range to trade sideways and all that good stuff. That's exactly what we did. We were buying at 35, selling at 43, 46k area, and after that we said, okay guys, it is about time for a capitulation. Okay, we're going to be looking for our what? Our monthly 50 EMA. The monthly 50 EMA, that's a Binance chart, right? So the monthly 50 EMA on Binance, it is about like a 23, so it is still not there yet. But if we take a look at it on basically let's say Coinbase, okay, that blue line, we already hit it. That's our monthly 50 EMA. Okay, so if we go back to the 3D basis, what we're looking at right now, and what do we want to see for a potential, like let's say 2 to 3 weeks of you know, a strong uptrend, we got to get our MACD to flip positive. Okay, and if you remember what I was saying back in January, what I said right here was like, guys, okay, we're not in a bull trend, right? We're not in a bull trend, but our MACD is positive. So as long as the MACD is positive, right, we're not going to get any what? Capitulation. Okay, so now we're going to apply the same scenario on the downside. Okay, we're going to apply the same scenario right on the downside, like that. Okay, so you can see what we're getting right here. Okay, we're getting the opposite. Okay, so it means, okay, pretty simple, right? As long as we're pointing down, we're not going to pump. As long as we're pointing down, we're not going to pump, because what we said right here was like, as long as we're pointing up, we're not going to capitulate. We're just going to get a nice range between 34, 35 up to 43, 46, a nice 10,000 point range. That's how we played it beautifully. Okay, in our premium group. Okay, we were just saying, okay, don't buy at 43 to 46. It is a sell range, accumulate sells right here. Okay, and once we basically get the breakout, you will get a confirmation for a retest of the monthly 50 EMA. So we shorted it from 40k all the way down to 25, 26, a 15,000 points. Okay, yes, it took a month, but it worth it. Okay, you're going to find very few traders, okay, staying in a trade from like you know, 40k all the way down to 26, and basically just taking profits along the way and adding back to the position and all that good stuff. Okay, so just to recap the 3D basis, right? As long as we're pointing down, okay, we're not going to get any reversal. Could we get a wick to the upside? I mean, I can control wicks. Okay, if BTC pumps like, let's say, up to 40k, it is nothing I can do. Okay, I just control the normal trend, right? And not looking for like, let's say a 40% pump out of nowhere. Could we get it? Yes, we could. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. But looking at the trend, right, it doesn't seem like BTC going to be reversing. Okay, but if you're looking for a wick or a nice pump out of nowhere, you could get it, but it is not guaranteed you will get it. Okay, something to basically keep in mind, because some of these bulls, right, if BTC pumps out of nowhere, they're going to be calling for a bull flag. I mean, not bull flag, they're going to be calling for a bull market and all that good stuff, right? But we will see. Okay, we will see. I don't think we will get it, but we will deal with it if it comes. Okay, so that's the only thing we need to keep an eye on in terms of like a 3D and all that good stuff. Okay, so in terms of RSI, we did break the trend line resistance. We talked about it the first week of April. We said that is it, guys. We're going to get a red wicks. We're going to get some red wicks, okay, to the downside, and we got like 4 or 5 weeks of downtrend after that. Okay, since like the first week of April. All right, so that's the only thing we needed to know in terms of BTC on a 3D basis. Bulls got to be very patient, right? And we could play just like we did back in July, right there, July 21st in our premium. We went long right here. We never went long at all. We just said, buy the dip right here, sell the top, buy the dip, sell the top, buy the dip, sell the top. But July 21st, 2021, what we said, guys, it is time to go to the moon. Okay, because why? We did have our MACD pointing up right here. And I just don't have time to show you on a daily basis, because I just wanted to talk about BTC on the 3D and all that good stuff. But if you trade the market long enough, sometimes you can feel like the move is coming. Even before BTC breaks above the 21 EMA, I was already bullish right here, 31. Okay, 31K. We said that is it. Actually 33. Okay, because on the daily we were looking to a breakout above the daily 21. Okay, the first daily close above the 21 EMA right here. That's when we basically sucked it up. Okay, that's when we sucked it up, even before the 3D come from the reversal and all that good stuff. Okay, right there. Okay, the first 3D candle, that's when we went long. Okay, all the way up to the top. Okay, so let me take a look at the chat room. Hey, what's up, Nikki Naka? Thanks a lot for tuning in. 589. Chani in the house. Bears still jumping and humping. Yes, I mean it is bear time. Okay, they're going to eat all the hypes. So bears don't care. Bears don't care about like the bear market or any good news or any of that good stuff. They're going to eat all the hype. Okay, so they will not hesitate to sell any good news, right? They will sell the rally. Okay, so something to basically keep in mind. All right, so we done with BTC on the 3D. Now let's take a look at BTC on the 6-hour basis. So on the 6-hour basis, so on the 6-hour basis, BTC it is still pointing up. Okay, what I was expecting is like, hey, our first rejection right here was already a warning. Okay, was already a warning, but since like MACD on the 6-hour basis was still pointing up, it is going to be hard, right, for BTC to come back down. So what we need to see, right, over the next like a few days is like we're going to need the MACD to cross negative. Okay, on the 6-hour basis. Okay, has to cross negative at least 6 hour to let's say 12-hour time frame. Then the volatility to the downside could be greater. Okay, I know on the hourly basis we've been getting like multiple crossover, right, but it is only for the short-term traders to look for some shorts, right, with these negative crossovers. Okay, you could get at least 1 to 3% depending on volatility if you're scalping. You can see like after the crossover right here, you got a 5% move. After the crossover right here, you got another nearly 5% move. We got another crossover right here. We could get another 3% move to retest the 29.11 and all that good stuff. Okay, so the overall trend, it is still down, right, but it is just the sideways correction. depending on how you want to trade it, if you want to trade it based on trend lines and all that good stuff, you can still make profits in this range. Okay, so but the safest thing to do is like to make profits with the trend, not against the trend, because you don't want to get, you know, caught out like you know, longing this sucker, right? And everything basically crumble, and you cannot basically wait for price action to pump back up. Okay, because you know we're not going anywhere. You know we're not going anywhere unless we get a you know, random pump out of nowhere. Okay, and you don't want to trade the market looking for random pumps. Okay, you want to trade the market looking for, you know, steady steady pump. Okay, meaning like, you know, you when you get in, you wait for like a few days or weeks to basically get some good gains, not like just pump out of nowhere. Okay, something you're going to get like, let's say every 2 years, that's when you're going to get like BTC pump like 20-30% out of nowhere. But most of these pumps or dumps, you can expect it. Okay, like let's say you know exactly what BTC is going to do, right? So something like that. Okay, so going back to the 6 hour, okay, the 6 hour 100 EMA, it is right now at 34. A few days ago, you know, it was right around like almost 35, 36. Okay, so it is slowing down. That's a good news. Okay, so if we get a higher pump, that's going to be our top end resistance. Okay, in a short term. Okay, that's going to be the top end resistance. So keep an eye on the 6 hour 100 EMA. I don't know when we're gonna get there. We still got the 50, and right now we know 31k up to a 32k, it is a resistance, right? And if we break it, right, it could basically try to get to the 100 EMA. Okay, it could try to get to the 100 EMA, but the main thing to watch is like the 6 hour MACD. As I always say, okay, if your 6 hour MACD crosses bullish, right, you got sideways correction. Okay, and that's exactly what we got right here. So as soon as we cross bullish right here, I knew it is going to be, you know, it is going to be boring for the bears. Okay, to get like a, you know, 10-15% move. Okay, and all that good stuff, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. So if you guys have any question regarding BTC, let's take a look at BTC on the daily first, because I think Mr. Shu or Pablo S Crypto, yeah, BTC could retest the it could retest the daily 21 at some point. I don't know when, right? Because I know Pablo is a moon boy. He might be looking for BTC to retest it now. However, if it retests it now without MACD crossing bullish right here, it is going to be a short, because I don't think we will get above the daily 21 without a bullish MACD. Okay, so something to basically keep in mind. I don't know when it will get there, but if it gets there, right, without a bullish crossover right here, you know, you will suck it up and short that cycle. Okay, something to keep in mind, just like what happened right here. As you can see, MACD never crossed bullish right here. Okay, and what happened, we were getting rejected by the 21 EMA. Okay, that's why I was saying don't long BTC right here. It is not a bullish divergence right there. Okay, if you guys recall a few days ago when BTC was right here, I was like, yes, I mean, it is a beautiful setup. It could push to the upside, right? If you take a look at it in your favorite time frame, right, 12 hour or lower, you got a divergence, right? But the highest it could go is just to create a flat correction before the dump. Okay, so I never basically tried to long it right here, even though it looked so jullish. In a bull market, I would have long this sucker. Okay, in a bull market, but in a strong downtrend, right, May 4th, knowing like what's been happening every May 7th, right, every single year, May 7th, May 6th, over the last 4 years, right, you know you don't want to long BTC the first week of May. Okay, you don't want, just like September, every single September we will get like a 20-25% dump. So every September you just have to be cautious. Every May you just have to be cautious. Okay, you just have to remember those 2 months. Okay, either let May go away or let September go away. Okay, both of them. All right, if you're a bull. Okay, so something to basically keep in mind, be cautious with those bullish divergences, right? So now let's move on to Ethereum before we talk about XRP and going back to BTC later on. So let's talk about the Ether dominance first. So if we take a look at the Ether dominance, what we're saying is like, hey, you know, Ether basically, it is just above the trend line support. Our MACD right here could flip negative over the next like a few days and so on. And if that's the case, it means like price action will be forced, right, to dump below the 21 EMA. Right now we at 19.3, and I've been saying it, is this guy been above the 21 EMA forever on a weekly basis, okay, above like a 19% and all that good stuff. But it is likely to retest the 15% over the next like a few weeks and so on, okay. And I don't see, okay, Ether being like a 14-15% dominance, and at the same time, right, you know, the Ether price being above 2K. I just don't see it, because it means like BTC has to be above like what, above 40, 45K, 50K for Ether USD to stay above like a 20K. Okay, so something to a 20K, 2K. Okay, so if we break the trend line support right here, we could be looking for 382 Fibonacci in terms of Fibonacci support. Okay, swing low 7% and swing high 22%. Okay, our 382 Fibonacci going to be at 14%. Okay, and at the same time we got a trend line support right here. I don't think we will break it easily, but if we do, you know what's next. Okay, you know what's next. Okay, I just don't see, once again, I don't see Ether going like to 25%, you know, 30% dominance and all that good stuff. Okay, I think the last coin with like 30% dominance is like XRP, right? So, but I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I will just adjust. Okay, now let's take a look at Ether USD. So Ether USD, let's take a look at it on the monthly. So Ether USD, our next directional target, once again, we already hit our target 1700 range to 1900, right? If you've been following our channel, when Ether was like around like a 3150, what we said was like, if we break below 3150, bang, it is going to be a short. Okay, all the way down to where, let's do this, it is going to be a short all the way down to like a 1700 range to a 1900 range. Okay, so we already hit that target, but we know the trend, right, is not strong, right? We know the trend is not strong enough, right? So the move we're making right now on the lower degree, right, doesn't really matter on a monthly basis. Okay, can Ether stay above 2K till June? That's possible. That's possible. We could be trading sideways until basically the end of the month, and in June it could be, you know, bears could just seal the deal and dump down to our next directional target all the way down to the monthly 50 EMA. As of now, it is at 1564. It could be different next month, but just keep an eye on it. Okay, and after that we will basically focus on what? We will focus on the monthly 50 SMA. Okay, the monthly 50 SMA, it is at 11, as of now it is at 1140, give or take. Okay, so first directional target for Ether going to be 1560, right? The second directional target will be at 1140, depending on you know, where these moving averages is going to be located at. Okay, because you don't know, you just don't know how Ether going to be, how the volatility of Ether going to be over the next like a few months. Okay, if the volatility is low in this range, this guy could be even higher, up to like, let's say 14, 15. Okay, meaning like the white line right here, the 50 SMA. Okay, but just, you know, I'm just going to be paying attention to the 50 EMA and 50 SMA, right? Just like we did with BTC. 50 EMA being at 25, 26K, we talk about it since when? Forever, guys. Okay, forever. Let's take a look at it right here. The support and resistance for BTC. Right here. Okay, support 2, that's what we're paying attention to. Okay, Okay, so support 2, that's what we're paying attention to, right? So support 2 going to be what for, we're going to go back to Ether, but for BTC, if you recall, we say the quarterly time frame, okay, quarterly support, first support, take profit at 30K, right? If it bounces back up, you know, add on to position, right? And second support on a quarterly basis is going to be where the quarterly 21 EMA at 21K, right? So on average, we said, okay, if you basically you know, keep an eye on your monthly, weekly, 3D, and all that good stuff. The average support going to be what, 31.5 first take profits, and second, you know, second range going to be at, you know, 24K on average. Okay, so we hit the monthly first support right there, 30K, and monthly 50 EMA, 25K. We already hit that, right? The weekly support, we talk about it as soon as we broke out below the weekly, you know, 35. Weekly support 35, 34K. We said do not short it, okay, even though we know we can dump down to 30K, because you don't want to put yourself in trouble shorting it at the you know, below 35, 34 and basically get wrecked with a wick to the upside and all that good stuff. So you know, everything was played out beautifully. Okay, resistance, we talk about the first resistance 45, 46. It pumped to 48. It's okay, right? But never got to the 52K resistance right here. Okay, so average resistance was like 44. We entered the short at, you know, 40, you know, 40, 41, whatever, okay, back then. Okay, but going back to Ether, so it is going to be the same setup. Going to be looking for the monthly 50 EMA, monthly 50 EMA for Ether. That's going to be the next support. And after that, you know, if we get enough data, we can look at it in terms of, like, let's say trend lines. We got multiple ways of basically trading Ether, okay, not just in terms of monthly EMAs. Okay, right here we got a nice trend line support, right? We broke the trend line support. If you want to take a look at it in terms of head and shoulder, you got your left head, right, big one, and a big head right here. I mean, left shoulder, right shoulder. I don't know who got like two heads, right? But you get the concept. Left shoulder, right shoulder, big head, right? So if we do an extension of our big head, right, all the way down to our neckline, 1-to-1 extension going to take us directly to the target we just talked about. Which one is this? Which one is this? Monthly 50 SMA. Okay, monthly 50 SMA. Okay, right there. So it doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter how we want to look at it, right? The directional move for Ether, it is still down. It doesn't mean in the next like a few weeks the directional move for Ether won't be up. So bulls, they got plenty of time to be accumulating. Just because the directional move for Ether is down doesn't mean like, oh, bulls not supposed to be reaccumulating. Okay, not supposed to be reaccumulating. So 2K, it is still a good area to reaccumulate. We below the monthly 21 EMA, right? Next reaccumulation phase, right, for Ether, monthly 50, right, EMA, and after that the monthly 50 SMA. And then you know, just sit tight, relax, and wait for the next like a big pump to a 15K, 20K, and all that good stuff. Okay, could it drop lower? Possibly. It could drop below $1,000, but we will take a look at it. I just don't have time to be talking about Ether below $1,000 as of now, as we did not talk about Ether below 1,500 when Ether was at, you know, 3,000. We were talking about like 1,700 to 1,900. So we're just going to take it step by step. If we get a, you know, a weak support right here, we could start to like speculate. If we get a strong support, we're going to basically be looking for some moonshots. Okay, all the way up to like a 20K and all that good stuff. So I think we're done with Ether. So now let's go ahead and take a look at XRP 589. So let's take a look at 589 before we talk about alt. BTC is bumping 30,500. So 589. Let's get a clean chart, and that way we can focus on 589 cleanly. So 589, we're going to start off in term of basically you know, in term of basically moving average. Okay, so what we've been saying over the last few years regarding XRP since like 2019, most of you guys have been following me long enough, so you know XRP macro support is what, macro resistance is what, the monthly 21 EMA right here. Back in May 2019, 3 years ago exactly, that's what I said. If we cannot get, you know, a candle above the monthly 21 EMA, we will be dumping lower, much lower, or even down to like a 10 cents, and that's exactly what we get. And we talk about it in my premium when XRP was up to these, when XRP was around like a 35-40 cents and all that good stuff. We talk about the 10 cent support, right? You can see right here, after the retest of the monthly 21, February 2020, we said, hey guys, we got a big rejection right here, so that's not good. We're most likely going to be retesting 0.618, I think was 50% pullback. Let's do this right there. Okay, 50% pullback right here. So when XRP was at 40 cents, guys, we were talking about 10 cents. Okay, the reason for that was in terms of Fibonacci, the directional move. We were saying, okay, we could be retesting the the July 2020 lows right here at 50 at 50% pullback, around like a 10 cents to a 13 cents to be exact, right? So now what are we getting right now in terms of moving averages? Okay, XRP is below the monthly 21 EMA. It is below, okay, the monthly 50 EMA. That's not a good sign. It is not a macro macro bullish setup. If you're looking for XRP to go up to like a 589, it has to stay above the monthly 21 EMA. It has to. So what we're looking at right now, okay, we could say, hey, for the most bearish case, okay, I'm going to show you the most bearish case. Okay, it is going to be 0.618 right here. That's going to be the most bearish case, right? But it could take like months or even years to get there. We don't know. Okay, but the reason for that, once again, is like last time we retested what, 50% pullback, right? And we got a bounce back up all the way up to 0.888 and could not break it. So what does it mean? It could mean like we could be making a macro WXY correction for the worst case scenario, okay, before the next leg up. Okay, and 0.618 going to be somewhere around like a 0.0618 also, okay, depending on how you want to draw it. Okay. So okay, so that, to be exact, it is at 0.0619. okay, so that's going to be the worst case scenario. All right, so now let's say, if we just want to be conservative, right, and not look so deep. Okay, if we don't want to look for so deep, we could just say, okay, the move we had right here at 13 cents 10 cents back in March 2020 was our lows, right? And we could do a swing low to swing high, right? We just hit our 0.618 recently, right? And we could say, hey, we could just dump all the way down to 0.786 to 0.888, which is going to be 20 cents to 15 cents. Okay, 20 cents to 15 cents right here. Okay, as long as we stay below the monthly 21, right? As long as we stay below the monthly 21, it won't be easy for XRP to get a breakout. Okay, could we stay right here for the next like a few months, right, and wait for the monthly 21 to join the party right there, and then we get the pump? That's possible. That's possible, but we have to get a strong support at the current level right here, just about like a 33 to 43 range. Okay, just to stay here maybe till late third quarter. Okay, and the beginning of Q4 we could get the pump. That's possible, but the directional move as of now, right, for XRP, we can deny it, right? It doesn't matter how much you love XRP and all that good stuff. The monthly MACD is negative. You can see what happened back in 2018 after we got the negative crossover on our monthly basis. we went through a very nasty downtrend, very boring, nothing impulsive. So we just have to be very patient, right, until we get a close above the monthly 21, and we could say, hey, it is time to go and look for 589 and pack our bags and be going to the moon. Okay, other than that, we could be, you know, looking for the 5 to 7 to 6 cents over the next like a few months after that. Okay, depending on the volatility, and at the same time depending on the BTC dominance, because if the BTC dominance is to go all the way up to let's say 60%, okay, 70%, I just don't see XRP being above like a 40%, or I mean I don't see XRP being above like a 30 cents, 40 cents. If the BTC dominance is to go up to like a 30, 50%, 60%, 70%, and all that good stuff, and at the same time BTC is staying above 20k, right? You see what I'm saying? Because if BTC stays above 20k and the BTC dominance is above like a 50, 55, it means like alt will suffer a lot. Okay, they could lose like, let's say 50% of their current value, or even 70%. Some of them will drop like 90% from their current price. Okay, if the BTC dominance reaches like 55%, 60%, and BTC stays above 20k, not even 30k, but 20k. Okay, so something to keep in mind going forward, right? All right, guys, so I'm just gonna keep it short. Let's take a look at hey, what's up, Tyler? Thanks a lot for tuning in. XTZ Moonboy. Yes, I'm a XTZ Moonboy and a VChain Moonboy too, right? I just don't talk about VChain a lot, but I'm a VChain Moonboy too. So don't sleep on VChain below 100 sats. Could retest like 30 sats, 40 sats, but I think it will be, still a great buy for me, right? So guys, I'm gonna cut it short today, right? Nikki Naka asking for LTC. Let's take a look at LTC also on a monthly basis. Because guys, I'm telling you, if you're trading these alt, right, trade them on a higher time frame. The crypto is so volatile. If you trade them, like, unless you know exactly what you're doing and you're trading, you basically day trading, don't look at these coins like on a 1 hour chart, because they're going to wreck you. Okay, they move so fast. You're going to think like every single 1 hour chart is a moon, every single 1 hour candle is a moon candle, right? And you're going to get wrecked. So XRP, as I told you, when XRP was below the monthly 21, right around like 110, right, in our premium, that's when we started to short it. Was looking for the 0.618, and even down to like a 0.786. We did not hit 0.786, but the main target was 0.618 at $70. So XRP, I mean Litecoin, just like XRP, right? Yeah, the trend is downward, right? And we could retest the 0.786 right here at some point. Okay, if BTC is to retest like the monthly 50 SMA, Litecoin is likely to retest the 0.786 at $42, or even 0.888 at $33 right here. So that's the next trading range for Litecoin. Okay, 42 to 33. So and it is not a new call. We talked about it when Litecoin was right here. We said, okay, 0.618. If we move sideways, we could be looking for the next downtrend right here. Monthly MACD, it is still negative, but you might be saying, oh, that's too slow. Let's take a look at the 3 weeks. Very boring. Okay, let's take a look at the 10D. Very boring. Okay, let's take a look at the weekly. The same thing. Okay, so Litecoin from the weekly time frame up to the monthly, it is bearish, right? So it means we will need at least for the 3D time frame to flip, to flip bullish for us to start like looking for higher prices for Litecoin. I mean reversal, not just like a pump to 75, 85, or even $90 and all that good stuff. Okay, MACD right here is not looking good. I don't think it will be a divergence, and once again, you don't want to draw this as a divergence. I know your indicator right here, your RSI, is completely oversold, but this is not a divergence. I showed you the same setup back in December on BTC. Okay, if we go back to BTC USDT, right here. Right here, right? If you guys recall what I told you, Pablo, I think that was Pablo, okay, and the other moon boy, T-Dog, okay, you know, was calling for a divergence, something like that, okay, started to draw a divergence. What I said was like, yes, it is a divergence, but it will capitulate down to the monthly 21 EMA, because you drew your divergence too soon, okay? So because you just didn't know you could get something like that, and that's exactly what you got before pumping to the upside, right, and creating another flat correction right here, right? So just have to be very cautious with those divergences, right? They're going to get you liquidized, okay, not liquidated, but they're going to get you liquidized, okay? You're going to be done, okay, not coming back. If you get liquidated, you're going to come back, okay, but if you get liquidized, you're not going to come back, okay? All right, guys, I'm just going to cut it short. Hola, One Speed, ¿cómo estás? Bien. Esta la mañana. T-Dog is asking, is a 6 hour 100 EMA is still far away? I mean, I don't know. I just explained the 6 hour 100 EMA. It could get there, but I don't know when it will get there. You're calling it a pump. It is not a pump. It is a sideways correction, T-Dog. You, in our premium, you know, we shorted at, you know, 40K, okay, and we, you know, we were looking for a move all the way down to 25. So we just have to be patient. We can't just be jumping in and out, right, and try to catch every move. We're going to get wrecked like that, okay? We can't just try to catch every single move. Sometimes some of these moves, you just have to let them go. You just have to let them go. I'm not going to try to chase a BTC from like a 31, 32 just to hit the you know, weekly I mean to hit the you know, 6 hour 100 EMA. I know for some of you guys, or you know, all of us, it is a big move. It is a 10% move, but I'm not gonna risk I'm not gonna risk like taking a long position right here. I know the trend is down and it could shift at any given time with a bad news and still dump back down here, okay? So be patient, right? We just got a 14,000 point trade, so no need to be rushing the next setup, because the trend is still down. The best thing to do is just lot of position 31, 32, and lot of some more position. If we get to like a 34, 35, you know, market going to eat it, and you're going to get a bigger gains. But if you try to catch the move right here, you might not even catch the next big move to the downside, down to like a, you know, 20K. So just have to be very patient. Can't catch all these moves. That's not what I'm trying to do, okay? Just try to play my setup. If I don't see any high probability setup with the direction, I'm just gonna be patient, okay? But the 6 hour 100 EMA, it is at 34. Yes, it can hit it like in the next like a few days, right? That's possible, but got to take out the 32 31, 32 resistance, okay, right here. Got to take out the way I know BTC, right? I'm very cautious with the 30, 31, 32, okay? So after a big dump, right, BTC loves to make these structures, okay? And at the same time, you know, it likes to dump back down to a 50% to a 0.618. It could do that and still retest the 6 hour 100 EMA. That's possible. So you just have to be very patient and just trade the direction of the macro trend, get some nice gains and get out, and still add back to your position and wait for the you know, monthly 50 SMA. If the retest of the monthly 50 SMA is invalidated, you just get out, because you know you got unlimited you know, unlimited upside if we reverse at any given time, okay? If we reverse from here, we got unlimited, you know, trade setup to look for. I know T-Dog, I know you're messing with me. I know you're a moon boy. T-Dog want to close a position today and get back in tomorrow. He's a machine. All right, guys, I'm just going to call it a day. It is 57 minutes, okay? Nearly. I think we talk about everything. No, it's not time for a dot yet. I don't think it's time for a dot. Yeah, the dot, nothing juicy on the monthly, so that's the first monthly breakout. So we might need to wait for like a few weeks to get a proper reversal pattern. Okay, 3 weeks bearish, even 10D bearish, 7D. We got a big volume right here, so let's see. That's a net volume. Okay, looking at the net volume, but MACD on 7D, it is still not looking that juicy. So and in terms of trend line, you can see the trend, it is still down. You could be accumulating, but you don't want to be looking for a reversal. Okay, good range to be accumulating, right? But you don't want to be looking for a reversal. If you want to look at it in terms of Fibonacci, you do a swing low, right, to swing high, right? We just hit like 0.618, 0.786 to 0.888, going to be at $4 down to $3, actually $2.89. Okay, 405 to $2.89, give or take. Okay, so but you just want to be accumulating, not looking for a reversal. You're going to get some pump, like what happened right here. You got a nice 50% pump, so you want to catch those pumps, get out and reaccumulate again. So if you catch a nice pump on average from a 3.5 up to like a $6, you get out and wait for a retest, something like that. Okay, but I don't think we will get like a 10x 20x move while the BTC dominance, right, is pointing up. Let's just say 410 for the moon boys, 290. Okay, all right guys, I'm gonna cut it short. Thanks a lot for watching, man.